What's going on, everybody? It's Mr. Uzi here. If you were just like me, you finished watching Apple's live stream. There they announced 3 new products and 1 new service. They announced the iPhone 6, iPhone 6 Plus, Apple Watch, which I believe should be named the iWatch personally, like if you think I am right, if you agree. And with services, they announced Apple Pay, which is similar to Google Wallet, where it allows mobile payments from your phone using NFC. Although the difference in this one is that it allows you to store credit card information on your phone just by taking a picture of it and using that as payment. It uses the Touch ID sensor to verify payments. According to Apple, merchants and Apple don't know what you're buying or how much you paid for it or any personal information about your purchase, and you know what, that's probably the way it should be. Although the video that they used to demonstrate how difficult it was to buy something in a store was a little blown out of proportion. They made it seem like it was a very difficult process, like, oh, she has to look in her purse and find the wallet, and she has to unzip the wallet and find which card it is, and you have to swipe it a billion times because apparently the mag strip on the back is messed up. Anyway, I digress. That's Apple Pay for you. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. The main things that I think were important from this announcement were the iPhones and the Apple Watch. The iPhones, one's coming in at 4.7 inches with a Retina HD display. They're keeping the old 8 megapixel resolution. They're not increasing the resolution like Samsung or other companies are doing. They're not playing the megapixel game, but instead they're focusing on their eyesight sensor, which is probably one of the best mobile sensors out there, considering that it's still an 8 megapixel sensor. And some of the pictures that they showed in the announcement, in the presentation, were actually really good pictures. The one from National Geographic was actually a really good picture from the iPhone using the 8 megapixel sensor. So that shows you that you don't really need a very large megapixel count to take good photos, but it does help if you like to crop them. They're keeping the 8 megapixel camera. They're having larger pixels on there to let more light in. They're using the f2.2 aperture. You know, similar stuff. They updated the sensor, but again, we're going to have to wait until phones are actually released and you start seeing more photos taken with the phone to see quality differences between older iPhones or different phones, to see if it's really all that they kind of make it out to be. The iPhone 6 Plus, which is the larger iPhone, comes in at 5.5 inches, and well, it's just a bigger iPhone 6. Yeah, it has a larger battery, so similar to how the Galaxy S line and the Galaxy Note line, the Galaxy Notes have larger batteries, so battery life is better on those, just like the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. The 6 Plus is larger, therefore they can fit a larger battery in it, and it makes it last longer. Wireless AC is now on the iPhones, which a lot of other phones have had, so they're kind of moving into the standard of most things now. Both of the new iPhones will be rocking the A8 and M8 processors, the A8 being the main processor powering most of the device, and the M8 is the dedicated motion processor for a lot of the fitness tracking applications in both the phone. And I'm not sure if they mentioned if it was going to be in the Apple Watch, but that one does have its own motion tracking. It can differentiate between cycling, walking, being on stairs, and all these different fitness activities, which seems to be the focus of Apple this time around. Fitness, all of their apps on the Apple Watch are focused towards, or mainly focused towards, fitness. The fitness tracking, from what I saw in demonstrations, was really good. If you're interested in getting a fitness watch and you have an iPhone 5 and up, you know, fitness watch, that wouldn't be that bad. Along with that, it comes with a ton of customizability, from different wrist straps to different colors. They have a leather band, they have a metallic, they have the silicone band. All of them come in different colors. Very customizable. They're using the squarish round face for the Apple Watch. I do prefer round watch faces just because round watches are kind of the norm, so I would probably prefer a Moto 360 to an Apple Watch. It's not because I use an Android, I just like circular watch faces more than squarish watch faces. Back to the iPhones. The iPhone 6s will both have 60 FPS recording in 1080p, and in 720p they'll have 120 FPS along with 240 FPS slow motion recording. And speaking of the stream, that is probably the worst stream. Not the presentation. The presentation was good from what I saw. The stream was the worst I've ever seen in my life. It dropped in and out. Most people who wanted to watch it couldn't because they didn't have Apple devices, which should have been their main focus. People who have Apple devices are going to buy more Apple devices. It's inevitable. People who don't have Apple devices, those are the ones you want to buy Apple devices because they don't have them and they might buy them if you let them see what you're selling. I was watching live blogs and reading tweets on Twitter with the Apple Live hashtag, so I was pretty up to date on what was happening in the live stream. Basically what I got from the stream is that Apple is now updating all of their hardware to what everybody else has been doing for at least the past 2 or 3 years, but it's now new and revolutionary somehow. The Apple Watch does everything that all the other smartwatches do, including notifications, messaging, and all of those things. Couple of Apple tweaks here and there. I guess it's conclusion time. The stream, from what I saw, because the actual streaming of the live stream, that's a lot of streams, was terrible. I couldn't see most of the stream. I missed the first, I believe, 30 minutes of it, the middle 25-ish minutes of it, and I kind of tuned out after YouTube got off. Phones are bigger. Power button is moved to the side because the phone is so big. iPhone 6 Plus is just a bigger iPhone 6. It does have the, what did it have? What did it have that the 6 didn't have? So you have to look this up because it's not even that big of a difference. 1080p Retina HD display. Pretty much the biggest difference that the iPhone 6 Plus has that the iPhone 6 doesn't have is in the camera of the iPhone 6 Plus, they have optical image stabilization versus the iPhone 6, which just has digital image stabilization. Probably because it is a larger body, they could fit the hardware required for optical image stabilization. So your videos and pictures won't be as shaky. People who complained about having small hands and wanted to have iPhones because they were smaller, well, that's going out the window now because all the phones, I believe that Apple has the smallest phones by just a small bit with a 4.7-inch screen. Issues with that, the phone did get thinner, but the camera on the back protrudes just a tiny bit to make people angry. I believe that can be fixed with a very thin case or maybe a skin, but instead of just making the phone thinner and having the camera protrude, just make it the same thickness where it's flush and maybe throw in a slightly larger battery. And that way everybody's happy. Apple's releasing a smartwatch. That's pretty much what I got from this. Pre-orders will start shipping out September 19th in the US for the iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus. The Apple Watch will come out early 2015. They didn't release an official date, but it's slated to be early next year. So if you do want to buy the iPhone 6, it is $199 for the 16GB model on contract. If you want the 6 Plus, it starts out at $299 on contract for the 16GB model, $399 for the 64GB model, and then 128GB model is $499 on contract. Personally, I probably won't be buying an iPhone. I didn't see anything that compelled me to buy one. Investing in a new ecosystem is not what I'm looking to do, especially when a watch from Apple is $350 and the phone is $200. That's $550. So no. Leave your comments down below about what you thought about the live stream. Did you have any problems watching the live stream like I did? Did you just completely ignore it because you hate Apple? Or are you an iPhone user that is going to buy a new iPhone/Apple Watch, or you're an iPhone user who's not going to buy the new iPhone/Apple Watch? Leave your comments down below. If you like this video, thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. This has been it, and I guess I will see you guys in the next video.